I am a wild woman. That's my food pet you hear barking. Food pet on Facebook. I need to shut it up. Hold on a moment. There we go. Okay. On my social anxiety and bipolar videos, I didn't talk much about both of them together. I just used it sort of bipolar as a tag. But I forgot to kind of talk about two important things. What makes it difficult having an anxiety disorder. I have a hair appointment in a few days. Is that a lot of people can't take antidepressants because it spurs them into a manic or hypomanic episode, and a lot of the SSRIs are really good for like maintenance of anxiety disorders and like OCD and social anxiety and agoraphobia, generalized anxiety, panic attacks, the medications like Zoloft and Paxil and stuff like that. And so the medication's there and you can't take it. So it's more of a struggle for those of us who can't take those medications. So we have to rely more on the therapy, self-help, things like that. We can take the short-acting medications such as Xanax and Addendum and stuff, but those can be addictive if you don't take them responsibly and deal with some situations. Just deal with the anxieties of popping one every time you feel a little nervous and stuff. And a lot of people have a comorbid or dual diagnosis of substance abuse, and so even those might not be an option for them. So that can be very frustrating. The other thing is, how did me with my social anxiety manage to function before my bipolar got out of hand as a registered nurse and do well? And I had a floor where I took care of cancer patients and did some very detailed, serious, like regimens and chemo and giving blood transfusions, and taking care of people who were prone to infection, people who were dying, people who were just diagnosed, major surgeries where it was just one, sometimes two nurses to one patient. Something happened and I finally figured out what it was. Well, first of all, when I was in nursing school, I realized right away that my shyness, I was not going to be an effective nurse with that going on. And so I purposely forced myself to volunteer every time they said they needed a volunteer. Offered to do things first. Join clubs. I was like the PR person for the student government. I hated it, but I did it on purpose to sort of like desensitize myself and to sort of just jump in and deal. It was horrible to do, but necessary, because I didn't have the time to do it gradually. Anyway, when I would put on my nurse's uniform, I became the nurse. I wasn't me anymore. I was the nurse. And the nurse could be confident, had good self-esteem, would speak up for herself, would advocate and defend the patient, you know, even sometimes having to confront a doctor or another nurse or some other person, peer or whatever, and coworker, you know, to make sure my patient got what they needed, family members, situations where people were dying and or getting very, very complicated regimens of chemo, and I got excellent evaluations. I was very good at it. As soon as I came home and took off the uniform, I was no longer the nurse, I was me. And me was nervous and uncertain and unsure and worried constantly about what people were thinking about her, obsessing about it. Whereas Megan, the nurse, was confident that she knew she was doing the right things. So there was no questioning. And for some reason, it was really hard for me to carry that over into my life. But I have found, and therapists have pointed this out to me, that I will come in and talk about myself as if I am giving report as a nurse, giving report on a patient, you know, and get sort of removed and technical and use the medical jargon and stuff to, you know, instead of, and the thing is that I was confident in me as a nurse, but I was not confident as me with me as a person, you know. So it was a very interesting thing, and in stressful situations I will often go into what I call nurse mode to get me through. You know, like when my papa was dying, he was in hospice, and the whole family got together and sort of just a celebration gathering before he died, and there were some tensions, and people hadn't seen each other in a long time, and everybody was looking to me because I had the nursing background. What should we give him the morphine? Should we go to the liquid? Blah, blah, blah. And I went in to cope with seeing my papa dying and being infirm and stuff. I went into nurse mode as a defense mechanism, which is okay. You know, we all have them. We all have them. But wouldn't it be nice to be comfortable, you know, with being me and not have to be Megan the nurse, to feel confident and not worry a bit about what the cashier thought when I went through the line, you know. I don't know how to reconcile that. So anyway, I needed to add that. Bye.